This week on Most Craved.
More giant monsters.
Bourne's back.
Hi, I'm Silas Lesnick with ComingSoon.net.
I'm Jenna Bush with Legion of Leia.
And I'm William Bibbiani from Crave Online. Hey, hey.
And today we're going to talk about something that has been hitting Hollywood en masse, reboots.
Ah, yes, because we haven't had enough of those.
No, but for the first time, I think some of the ones we're talking about don't sound terrible.
Well, it helps when you're not rebooting something that was that good to begin with a lot of
Or
the time.
just happened like 3 seconds ago. Well,
Yeah.
I guess one of these is.
Case in
Yeah.
point, I Know What You Did Last Summer, which
Yes.
is not really anyone's favorite slasher franchise.
No, it wasn't that good. Like, all the sequels were stupid because they had to have dumb titles. Like, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, even though it took place several summers later.
Oh.
Like, and now, and if you're rebooting it, by the way, reboot doesn't necessarily mean remake. So they want this to take place in the same universe. It would be like, I Still Know What You Did 17 summers ago, which I'm not sure that's going to hit the core demographic of teens.
That's an annoying hashtag.
Yeah. Oh my God! I want to kill myself.
It is one of those strange things because there's certainly stars of
Yes.
that era that would be cool and the nostalgic sense to bring back and see on the big screen
Yeah.
again. But the characters of I Know What You Did Last Summer,
you
it's
care
not
about
one.
them at
Yeah.
all?
No, the characters are meaningless. The cast was pretty good at the time. You know, you had Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar back when she was a big deal, Freddie Prinze
still a
Jr.
big deal.
But like a really big deal, and like Buffy. And then you had Freddie Prinze Jr. back in that like 3-year window when he was a big deal, and Ryan Phillippe back before we knew he wasn't going to be a big deal. So like it was a pretty good time, and it was written by Kevin Williamson. And the movie had its charms. It had like a Hitchcockian kind of guilt aspect to it that I dug, but no one liked it that much. I mean, people saw it, and I was like, I saw that movie, and it was okay.
Arguably, that's a great reason to reboot
Exactly.
it. You have the story, the book, it's 1974, I
Yeah.
think. It's like a young adult fiction book. And
From the author of Hotel for Dogs.
if I had
Wow.
to guess, I would say that this film is going to be a hard reboot. There's not going to
Yeah.
be any returning characters. It's
Sure.
just going to be
Yeah.
the story again.
Do you think it'll be scarier? Because like I don't know why the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot that just hurts my brain.
It seems like it's rife for PG-13ification. There's really no reason why it needs to be ultra-violent anymore.
Yeah, it should be scary and not, not
Right,
gory.
Yeah.
I think torture porn is over.
Torture porn is essentially over for now, but the horror never dies. It just
Right.
sleeps. And, you know, I Know What You Did Last Summer actually could be this kind of movie, remaking this era of horror, could be what we need to bring back the slasher genre.
Right.
Because, you know, that had been dead before Scream came along, and then movies like I Know What You Did Last Summer helped perpetuate it for a while. And now maybe I Know What You Did Last Summer could be that, and we could see a horror renaissance of a genre that people thought is dead, largely thanks to crappy remakes.
Yeah.
And then, meanwhile, we're getting Skull Island, which we're not quite sure what it is yet. It's
Doesn't
going to
matter,
star
it's gonna be awesome.
Tom Hiddleston.
That's why it's going to be awesome.
And it's a King Kong movie, but not necessarily any of the versions of King Kong we've seen.
And not necessarily, like, they haven't even specifically said King Kong is in it. So, like, it could be, like, I'm curious whether or not this is going to be entirely new continuity, or if they're going to say it takes place before King Kong, and maybe Tom Hiddleston's the guy who drew the map that sent them to Skull Island,
Right.
or it takes place after King Kong, and it's just people going back to the island, because clearly it exists. There was a King Kong on there, trying to explore it more, meet more monsters, meet the son of Kong, perhaps. You know, who
Sorry,
who knows?
I'm really happy. I think this is really cool. For something like this, I mean, I think all the old stories, whatever. Like, I just reboot it any way you want. Just give me King Kong.
The cool thing about this is, my guess on this one is that it's going to be a hard reboot, maybe maintaining some continuity with the original 1932 film.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, once you establish King Kong in this legendary Universal universe, they've also got Godzilla is a legendary property, although with Warner Brothers at the moment, and Pacific Rim.
Which, okay, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. The Pacific Rim clearly takes place in, like, a distant future after, and there was no Godzilla in it before, because the first giant monster attack, no one said, oh, but there was Godzilla before that.
Right.
So that's problematic. There's also the problem that King Kong takes place about, like, 80 years before the new reboot of Godzilla.
But Pacific Rim is already dealing with a portal under the ocean to a parallel universe. So all of these universes can exist and theoretically cross over based on the science.
I want all the monsters in mech. No, all the monsters in mech should fight. I would just forget the story. I just want to watch that.
All right, but here's my, okay, let's take this fundamental thing down, okay? King Kong is like yay big, and Godzilla is like yay big. That's not much of a fight, unless King Kong's gonna be like swinging on his arms.
I think I've said this before, but you get King Kong, Bride of Kong, drift compatible in giant mecha Kong suits to fight Godzilla.
I am so happy.
Could you drop your mic?
I think you need to.
I think you just won. You won everything, everywhere. And I want to see that.
I'd like to see that, Bill.
Yeah, I want to see that. And then Lancelot Link can be like their can be their Idris Elba, like sending them off on missions. Done.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Done.
Please do this.
Kids, look up Lancelot Link. You'll be glad you did.
Oh yeah.
Then we also have the sort of anti-reboot.
Yes, the apology for the last reboot. Matt Damon and Paul Greengrass are supposedly reteaming for Bourne 5. Now, Universal hasn't commented as of exactly when we're recording this, but a lot of people wanted them to get back together again because they made The Bourne Supremacy and The Bourne Ultimatum, two films that were really fun to watch and really confusing to remember afterwards.
And I get the feeling from Matt Damon that he genuinely loves playing Jason Bourne, and the statements he's made of I don't want to do it unless it's with Paul Greengrass, because after all, Paul Greengrass didn't even direct the original Bourne.
Right.
But no one wants to work with Doug Liman twice.
That's not fair.
That's not fair, but it seems to be true.
It's neat to see this happening.
Yeah. I'm fine with it as long as we can write Aaron Cross out of continuity, because The Bourne Legacy is one of the worst action sequels I have ever seen. It is terrible. No.
It's not terrible.
It is terrible, and here's why.
It was fun.
It was not fun. There was no action for the first half of the movie.
Well,
It's full of plot holes. Ed Norton had to say dumbass stuff like he's going to run out of brain. The plot revolves around a hero who has no motive beyond getting his drug supply back.
It is like flowers for Algernon.
It's firepower for Algernon. Because he was mentally challenged and they gave him the super drugs, and now he's not. And that's the entire plot of the movie, and it takes way too long to explain even what that is. And that never affects anything. He never runs out of them and has to work beyond his capabilities. So it's an entire waste of time. Also, they say Matt Damon in the other Bourne movies was on the same superpower drugs. So all of the stuff he did that seemed really cool in the other Bourne movies, because wow, he's such a great spy, he was just Captain America the entire time.
It's still cool.
What's wrong with Captain America?
There's nothing wrong with
America.
Here's the problem with it. The original Bourne Identity is a great movie. I love that movie, and we are still reacting to that movie in the action genre. Everything is still on a post-Bourne and needs to be treated as seriously as Bourne was. But by treating it seriously, they rejected all the dumb action crap that the Bourne Legacy brought back into it. Everything in the Bourne Legacy was the opposite of what the Bourne Identity.
To rant about the Bourne Legacy, but we're way out of time.
We're gonna get you some chamomile tea
and some chems.
Where are the chems? Where are the chems?
See you next week.